You know, I've talked about a lot of Nintendo games, but I've never really talked about any Mario games. Sure, I talked about Mario Kart 8, but that review is unscripted and... Line? Again? Yeah. Same frame and all that? Anyways, here's Mario 64.
It's me, Mario! Hello!
Mario 64 has got to be one of the most important games I have ever played. It's the first game that I ever beat, it's the first game that immersed me, and it's the first game that frustrated me. The Nintendo 64 was the first home console that was ever bestowed upon me. I was introduced to Star Fox, Smash Bros, Pokemon Snap, Mario Kart, Mario Party, Zelda, wrestling, and so many others. But the one that was my game of choice was Paper Mario. But today we're talking about Mario 64. It's funny to note that Mario 64 is the reason the Nintendo 64 is the way it is. Mario 64 was originally going to be developed for the Super Nintendo, and because of technical limitations and a controller that didn't have enough buttons, Nintendo started developing a whole new console and controller built around Mario 64. I find it funny how people always criticize Nintendo for their gimmicks. I mean, you look at the Wii U, that has 2 screens, and people always criticize the second screen being a replacement for a stronger console. But you look at the Nintendo DS, that has 2 screens, and nobody criticizes it because it has such good games. And like, sure, they have a lot of gimmicks that didn't stick, like the e-reader, but look at the Nintendo 64 controller. That's tons of stuff that were all gimmicks that just turned out to be innovation. The D-pad came with the NES, the L and R button came with the SNES, and the thumbstick came with the Nintendo 64. And the Nintendo 64 even introduced the Rumble Pack of force feedback vibration, which is commonplace in every single video game controller today. So you start the game and you get to play with Mario's face. It's funny to see his reaction, and oh god, is that what Mario would look like without a mustache? I'll be erasing a file so I can save some space. Oh god, that sounded painful. I would just like to point out that I'm actually playing this on my Wii U. I mean, I have 100% of the game on the Nintendo 64, but it's just easier and higher quality if I record it off the Wii U. So you start the game for real and Princess Peach comes out and says, "I got a cake, come eat it." Every time I see this image and hear this music, I get chills. Mario comes out of a pipe and like Kitu, the cameraman, talks to Mario and explains how he'll be filming his adventure. I love this because controlling a game's camera was a new thing. What better way to introduce that concept to the world than literally having you control a camera? But suddenly, something's wrong! As you enter the castle, you are interrupted by Bowser. Do I even have to explain what Bowser did to Peach? So you talk to Toad and Bowser has kidnapped Peach and stolen the Power Stars. The Power Stars protect the castle, so it is up to you, Mario, to get the stars back. The first level is Bob-omb Battlefield. It's a wonderful introductory level. There's signs that point exactly to where you have to go, signs giving you hints, red bob-ombs giving you objectives, and even though there's a direct goal to get to, you see other Power Stars that just tease you, just staring you in the face. You know you'll be back for more, but you don't know when. Anyways, King Bob-omb is the first boss. He can't really hurt you, but you can hurt him, just like a malevolent god. Ha 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 ha. Oh geez, King Bob-omb probably does some killer squats. You beat him and you collect your first Power Star.
Here we go!
Mario jumps out of the painting as happy as, well, Mario, and you jump right back in to get into more action. This time you see Koopa the Quick, who wants to race with Mario. For this race, you have to do the exact same task as you did in the last mission, head up to the top of the mountain. But this time you have a time limit. You know, in the last mission, the number of balls at the bottom of the mountain was 2. As a kid, I always imagined this third ball was actually King Bob-omb's body. I know, that's a little messed up. This star is really easy. Also, there's points where you can teleport onto the mountain itself, so that makes it really, really easy. After you get some stars, you can start unlocking the other doors within the castle. The one at the top right-hand corner has nothing in it. Just kidding, if you jump into the right window, you'll be led into a slide. You finish the slide and you get a star. What a nice secret. I bet there's no more secrets to be had on this slide. Oh, just kidding! If you complete it quick enough, you could potentially get 2 stars from the secret. There are a lot more secret stars to be found, but I won't be covering them all because I don't want the few people who haven't played this game to know where they are. And yeah, I think there are some people who haven't played this game. That's another thing about this game and its relation to me. I never used strategy guides and I never looked up cheats on the internet. Everything I found out about this game, I either found out on my own or was told to me by friends. The first stage you can unlock after Billiam Battlefield is Whomp's Fortress. First thing I noticed even as a kid is that a lot of music is recycled in this game. It doesn't really affect the game too much, but I even noticed it back then. Whomp's Fortress introduces a lot of new enemies as well as a layer of challenge. While there were places to explore in Billiam Battlefield, the path to take to get the star was very linear. I mean, there were signs directing you where to go. In Whomp's Fortress, there are multiple ways you can take in order to get to the same location. You can take the low road and risk getting either pushed off the edge or falling off. You can take the mid road and risk getting crushed, or when unlocked, you can risk the cannon and risk flying off the edge. But if you're too much of a diddly damn loser, you can take the safe road, but you're going to have to jump. Oh yeah, you can fall off the edge now. As you get to the top, you finally meet King Whomp. Are you seeing a trend here? Little bombs, big bomb. Little whomps, big whomp. Is this like Power Rangers or something? The next level to come up is Jolly Roger Bay. It's underwater. I get it. Variety. Games get boring if it's the same thing for 6 hours, but no. No underwater, please. Jolly Roger Bay is actually alright. The music is wonderful, I really have to admit it. One of the problems people always bring up when they talk about Mario 64, actually in this era of gaming in general, is short draw distance. You see, the game can only process a certain amount of things on the screen, so as you're farther away from an object, it disappears. So sometimes you have to get real close to something before you even see it, but in Jolly Roger Bay, this kind of works out. It's funny, because as a kid, I could never finish the first mission here. In the first mission, you have to lure this eel out of the ship and then enter it. I never really understood how to do that, so I ended up always getting the 3rd star instead of the first one by accident. In the 3rd star mission, you just select the treasure chest in a certain order and you get a star. Once you lure the eel out of the ship, you do the same thing, but underwater! This is a problem that even this early in the game I can notice. Course 1, Star 1, make it to the top of the stage, beat King Billiam. Star 2, race Koopa the Quick to the top of the stage. Course 2, Star 1, get to the top of the stage, beat King Whomp. Star 2, get to the top of the stage and climb the castle. Sure, there are different ways to get to the top of the stage in Whomp's Fortress and multiple teleporting areas in Billiam Battlefield, but a lot of missions seem like repeats. The next stage is Cool Cool Mountain, and I actually think this is the one with a little bit of variety within the first set of stages. First, you jump down the chimney and slide down the slide, but what's this? A line of coin leads you directly into a secret tunnel! Then you get a star. The next mission. I think everybody knows this mission. Escorting the baby penguin down from the top of the lodge to the mother. Alright, mission done, video done, you can go home now. Okay, so that penguin that looks exactly like your child that isn't your child is an orphan, so you're not going to take that orphan in, so I guess I'll just throw it off the side. I guess being a good person didn't translate well into 3D. I mean, look at Yoshi. Yoshi picked up a baby Mario when he didn't know who he was. Maybe this penguin took this penguin and we'd have Super Penguin Bros. I don't know. Here's your child, you selfish fat ass. The next mission is a semi-repeat. You have to go down the slide again, but this time, you're racing another penguin and you can't use the shortcut or else you'll be cheating. And actually, as a kid, I could never beat this. I always fell off too soon. It really freaking irritated me, and even to this day, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. There are a lot of repeating stars over the course of the courses. For example, in each course, there's a mission where you have to collect 8 red coins to get a star. A lot of the secret stars you get are also 8 red coin missions. Speaking of which, there are a lot of intangible boxes around a bunch of the stages that you have to find a secret switch in order to make tangible. The first one available to you is the wing cap, which is the red box. In the small wing cap stage, all you really have to do is get to the pillar to the middle to flip the switch and you unlock the power up. But there's also a star that you can get into the stage if you collect 8 red coins. It's probably the most frustrating 8 red coin mission in the game. When you have the wing cap you can fly, but it's much easier to stay at a specific height and fall than it is to gain altitude. And when I say easier, I pretty much mean to gain altitude is impossible. The 8 red coins are at a decreasing altitude from the start, so you have to maneuver a very specific path in order to collect the coins, and if you miss one, you might as well kill Mario and restart the level because there's no chance you can get that coin again. In Bob Battlefield, Mission 5 requires the wing cap. This is the worst moment where the short draw distance becomes a problem. In this mission, you have to hit the middle coin in a series of 5 circles. You have to shoot out of a cannon to do it, but you can't see the coins on the way, so ugh. The 6th mission in Bob Battlefield is to release the Chain Chomp. The whole time I thought there'd be a different power-up that would let you pass through the door, but instead the Chain Chomp's just like Another repeatable mission across the courses is the 100 coin mission. If you collect 100 coins, you get a secret star in the stage. Some are really easy, like in Cool Mountain, where you can get like 80 plus coins just from going down the slide. Some are near impossible, like in Jolly Roger Bay, where there's exactly 100 coins, and some of those coins can disappear. So if you're not fast enough, you'll be running around for 30 minutes looking to see if you missed any. So after you get 8 stars, yeah, 8, you can go save Peach. Yeah, damn it! So the Bowser levels mainly test your platforming skills, and it's linear, unlike other stages. You collect 8 red coins to get an extra star, and well, shit. You face Bowser and, Bowser, you look awful. No, you look disgusting. I'm just gonna blow you up. Yeah, grab the key so I can unlock more parts of the castle. Wait, a ghost?
Check this out. What am I, a monkey?
The next level we find after collecting 12 or more stars is Big Boo's Haunt. The first mission in this course requires you to kill every ghost. However, when you kill the ghosts, they all remind you that you can't kill ghosts. Of course, like every other stage in the game, as well as every Bowser stage and every secret stage, there is a red coin mission in this level. And you're having success with each coin, and you eventually find this room. It's just a piano. There's nothing to worry about. Alright, game done, mission done, video done, you can go home now.
But Billiam, think of the children. You've been delaying this review for over a year now.
Repressed. Another mission that stands out to me in BB's Age is Big Boo on the Balcony, because for years I had no idea how to complete it. It wasn't until I got the DS version of the game, which simplifies it, that I was able to go back and figure out how to beat it. Essentially, there's this room, and you have to wall jump and just miraculously know that a ledge is up here. And there's another mission that you have to complete by coming up here, but we can't complete it just yet. We'll come back. The next level is in this magic pile of magic slime. It involves jumping into the magic slime, a Loch Ness monster, half-A presses, building up speed, and scuttlebugs. Getting past all that shit, Henry, we can move on to the meat of this level, the metal cap. Getting to the bottom of the stage, we have an entrance to the metal cap room.
Bro, that's like so metal.
The metal cap makes you impervious to fire and poisonous gas and allows you to walk and breathe underwater. Once you unlock the second area of the game, you can also locate a special room that allows you to drain the moat. You can jump down a hole and grab the vanish cap, which makes you impervious to certain attacks and able to walk through walls. And now we go back to Big Boo's Haunt and complete that mission. Moving on. To me, part of the thing that makes Mario 64 feel so distant from other Mario games is the power-up selection. There is no fire flower, no mushrooms, just these special hats. And they're great and all, but they just don't fit in with the rest. It is imperative to have the metal cap in order to complete Hazy Maze Cave. There's spitting fire in the beginning, enemies which can be destroyed just by walking into them, balls that'll crush you because they're so huge, and finally, a poisonous gas maze. This maze can be the bane of your existence, but if you have the metal cap, you can survive in it. There's also a lot of secret exits and entrances in order to get in and out of it, but there's also ways to avoid it, so why not? Finally, as you have the metal cap, you can actually go back and complete a few missions from earlier stages. Jolly Roger Bay has a mission which tests your ability to get from point A to point B, like most video games, but here you have to use the metal cap in order to stand inside a current. The trick is that the metal cap only lasts for a specific amount of time, and it's across the stage from the star. Also, the star is underwater, so you have to sink very slowly and pray the cap's duration doesn't end. Lethal Lava Land is the next hot topic, and here's where we get introduced to another game mechanic: hot surfaces and fire. It takes 3 hits to murder you, so you better be careful. This course is one of my favorites. All the platforms around the stage are isolated, so in order to get to each one, you either have to use moving platforms or take a hit from your health bar. On later missions in the game, a shell becomes available that allows you to briefly traverse the stage without any problems. Lethal Lava Land is also notable for having the game's easiest mission, the 8 red coin mission. The mission is on top of a slide puzzle, but all 8 red coins are right next to each other, and if you happen to slip into the lava, every time the puzzle completes, it spits out coins, which in turn heals you. One enemy introduced in this level is the Bully, an enemy that has to be defeated by pushing him around and taking his lunch money. There are 2 missions in the game where you have to fight even bigger bullies. These enemies definitely add variety because their attack method is to push you into the lava instead of just directly hurting you, especially in the substage in which you're climbing up a volcano and they try to knock you off. Lethal Lava Land has a substage, the Volcano, in which you go inside a volcano. The volcano makes you platform in a vertical direction while jumping on poles. The other mission inside the volcano makes you wait on a platform as it slowly moves. It tests your attention span because if you take your eyes off of it for 1 second, you get dead. Shifting Stand is a level that I've always really liked, primarily because there's a lot of ways to cheat the game. You can skip a huge part of the first mission by jumping up on this platform and grabbing either the shell or the wing cap and going straight to the top of the pyramid. It also has a substage, the Pyramid, in which you go inside a pyramid. The pyramid is very similar to the volcano. You're working your way up and avoiding getting knocked down, squished, and drowning in sand. There's also a semi-secret boss within the stage. Most bosses are introduced within the first mission of a stage, but in Shifting Sandland, if you stand on all 4 pillars that surround the stage, the top of the pyramid will explode, and you can go inside to see 2 giant hands with eyeballs in the middle of their palms. Punch the eyeballs in order to beat them. Wow. And finally, we get to Dire Docks. I hate this level. The only thing I think is cool about it is that there's one mission where you can use both the metal cap and the vanish cap at the same time in order to complete it. Cool. The most tedious mission in the entire game is following behind the manta ray as it spits out little bubbles, rings that you have to swim through. Come on. Come on. Come on. Almost got oh, there we go. No, got it. Yeah. Oh, there's 2 of them. Almost. Hey, I got it the first time. Finally, we get to Bowser in the lava world, and he's got some new moves, including jumping to knock the stage over. Dude must do some like killer squats, running really fast, and teleporting. Anyways, you beat his lard ass all over again, and then what? A key.
Come on. Come on, Mario. Come on, Mario, jump! Don't give up.
So continuing right on ahead into the third part of the game. Oh, hey Toad. You could have just, unlocked the door for me.
This is fucking bullshit.
We get a room with no pictures that you're able to jump into. Oh wait, a reflection of a painting. But no painting, how queer. Better jump. Snowman's Land is a level which provides a lot of moments of sheer frustration, including having to use a penguin to stop from getting blown off the edge by a snowman, and Mario in turn losing his hat, and burning yourself on the freezing cold water underneath the platform with an ice bully. Oh yeah, another recycled mission. Whoop-de-doo. There's also a substage, the Igloo, in which you go inside an igloo. The igloo only provides one mission, and it's actually pretty cool. Essentially, you're placed in an ice maze, and all the walls are clear, and this can be extremely disorienting. In order to get to the igloo, you have to bounce off of one of the flower guys and float behind this wall in order to get a turtle shell to move up a steep incline. Getting a good hit on one of these flower enemies is surprisingly difficult sometimes. Moving on to the next level, Wet Dry World. Fuck this level. No, honestly, fuck this level. It's another water level, but the gimmick here is the depth of the water isn't consistent. The water level corresponds with 2 things: what level you jump in the painting at, and the little diamond switches. Every enemy in this level is determined to knock you down. You have the chuck ya, which will chuck ya, and these little wind-up toys which will throw you the heck around, and the little electric guys which hate your face. However, one of the really cool things about this level, despite my hating of it, is the fact that if you jump in the cannon and get shot into this little grate, you can swim down and find a whole little town. The first part of the level is big enough to be its own, but this little town adds a little extra variety to it, and I do appreciate that. Next, we move to Tall Tall Mountain, a level in which you climb a tall mountain. This has always been a level that I've both loved and hated. First off, it's easy to fall off the edge, and if you do, you either die or fall all the way back down to the bottom. Tall Mountain proves my thesis that this game is way too repetitive. Tall Mountain, as described, is extremely tall, and traversing it takes time. However, a lot of the missions in Tall Mountain require that you go to the top of the mountain or near the top of it, forcing you to climb up it multiple times in order to accomplish different goals. There's also a monkey that will steal Mario's hat, which is my favorite. Oh yeah, and the Chuckyo, which is also my favorite. But most of all, the secret tunnel is my favorite. Mario 64 is one of those games that I have a really long history with. My freshman year of high school, I finally decided that I was going to 100% the game, and after playing the game for what was over 10 years, I discovered the secret slide on Tall Mountain, and needless to say, I was shocked that I didn't know every single part of this game after playing it for so long. Next, we get to Tiny Huge Island, one of the coolest concepts for a stage. In Tiny Huge Island, you can enter the level through one of two paintings. A tiny painting, which will lead you to a tiny version of the stage, and a huge painting, which will lead you to a huge version of the stage. All the enemies are also either huge or small, depending on the side of the stage you're on. And I feel really bad about killing the little Goombas. Ugh! This course uses a lot of puzzle tactics that require that you enter the stage through one side in order to defect it on the other. For example, in one mission, you have to drain the water at the top of the mountain on the small stage in order to have it drain in the large stage. Once you drain the top of the mountain, you can go and fight the Wiggler. What's this? A non-repetitive boss? One thing about this fight that I've always thought was funny was the intense music mixed with the Wiggler's apathetic face. I know, he's pissed you flooded his house, but can you at least show it? Anyways, you beat him and he says he's content with the current situation. After all that, I guess we can be friends. He was so young. This level also has Return of Koopa the Quick. More like Koopa the Slow, am I right? Yeah! When you gather 50 or more stars, you're able to unlock the final part of the game, the attic. Here you have two final stages, Tick-Tock Clock and Rainbow Cruise Ride. Tick-Tock Clock might be one of my favorite Mario levels ever. It challenges the player's ability to recognize patterns and has some very difficult platforming. Things keep constantly moving and you have to be able to decipher when and how to jump in congruency with the movement of the platforms and the timing of Mario's movement. One cool thing about Tick-Tock Clock is that instead of being inside a painting like most of the other levels, it's inside a clock. And the time the clock shows will actually affect how fast, if at all, the platforms are moving within the stage. In the mission, Stop the Clock for 8 red coins, you actually stop the movement of all the platforms in order to collect the red coins. Inside the attic, there's also access to another secret stage, in which you must collect 8 red coins amongst the clouds. The terrible thing though, is that if you fall to your death, you will be moved all the way back outside the castle. Rainbow Cruise Ride is the final level, and it's phenomenal at testing your patience. The beginning of the level has the player waiting on a magic carpet as it flies around the sky. You have to pay close enough attention not to get knocked off while simultaneously fighting the urge to jump off, because if you do, the carpet disappears. It's got a really fun 8 red coin mission though. Finally, we get 70 stars and head up to the final part of the game, Bowser in the Sky. The whole thing is climbing upwards to face Bowser once and for all. Complete with hieroglyphs, foreseeing your battle as an epic final showdown, complete with dramatic music and lighting. The final Bowser battle gets slightly more difficult than the rest, because he's got some new moves, and instead of having to hit him once on the Spike Balls of Death, you have to do it 3 times. And then you do, and you win, and Princess Peach gives Mario a kiss and bakes him a cake. Woot. Well, there it is, my quick overview of the Mario 64 courses. I know it wasn't in-depth, but I really wanted to get to my overall opinions on the game. Mario 64, although a huge step forward in gaming, really hasn't aged well. The camera is stiff, Mario is stiff, and the game graphically is hideous. I don't mean in terms of polygon count either, I mean in terms of color palette and actual character design. The game doesn't seem to fit within the Mario series. Classic enemies don't look like themselves, and everything just seems to be assets from different games. And the mixture of 3D assets with 2D assets being used for texture patterns, backgrounds, spherical objects, and graphical effects really doesn't help the case. Despite looking back on Mario 64, however, and being able to see its flaws clearly, it's a game that means a lot to me. It was the first game that I had to beat. It was also one of those games that had a lot of lore to it, kind of like the original Pokemon games. Was Luigi in it? Could you jump in the Princess Peach stained glass on the outside of the castle? It also helps that the game itself presents itself as having a lot of secrets.
And notice as I said presents, not necessarily having a lot of secrets. The castle slide, on top of that there's 2 stars there. Shifting Sandland being inside a regular wall. Tall Mountain having a slide. The Igloo in Snowman's Land. The secret levels throughout the game, they're extremely easy to find secrets, but as a kid, it feels so accomplishing to find these things. For younger players, it creates a great sense of reward that may be easy to find, but at least it's earned. A lot of Mario games now hold your hand as literally as possible if you can't complete a stage. But here, everything seems so real and so big. I think this is a game that every young player should be introduced to. It's a game that provides discovery and allows you to figure out how to control it easily. I would love to see an updated version of this game. Another one. I feel like Mario 64 DS, the port released in 2004 for the original DS, has a lot of flaws that weren't in the original game. And a Mario 64 3DS would be awesome.
Growing up, Mario 64 was the classic Mario game. Games like Mario 3, Mario World, and Super Mario Bros. Were all on the Game Boy or Game Boy Advance. And so to me, those games were the handheld versions of Mario. I didn't really understand that they came out before Mario 64 until I was older. I mean, give me a break, I was a little kid. And even though today I understand that games like Mario Sunshine, Mario Galaxy, and Super Mario 3D World are all significantly better than Mario 64, the game still holds a special place in my heart. Never mind.